Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits, coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California, USA. Welcome to the first show of 2025.
Really big shoe.
It's it's not going to be a really big show because Fearless Leader is still in Vietnam. But we're going to make do, darlings. We're going to make do. Who do we have in the studio today? Well, I shall tell you. This is Emma. Hello. It's simply lovely to be here. Sitting to my left, working the board. Andy's quite bored. It's Johnny.
Hey, everybody. If you're going to get dirty with Jim. That's all I got to say.
I like the sound of that. Sitting right across from me, the weirdie with the beardy, it's Neil.
Hello, folks. It's good to be here.
Well, it's good to have you, Neil.
Thank you.
And sitting by the open window, and there's always a good reason for that.
Yeah, I was going to say Jim.
Proper ventilation.
Yeah, it's Naked Jim. John, will you stop monkeying around with the board?
Turning knobs over there.
He's turning knobs and making
It's my job.
He's playing with his
knob twiddler.
Dirty dirt bags getting dirty in the dirt.
What do you have to say for yourself, Naked Jim?
I say all sorts of things.
I know you do.
Peace, love, and soul.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you in the
Be
studio
cool,
today.
be kind, bring
and of
fireworks.
course, lastly, but by no means leastly, coming to us from his superior workshop in Velveeta, Oregon, is Bagel.
Yes, keeping my hand off the knobs.
So we have actually got quite a cool show. I'm going to do a little bit of a history hole later, but we have a couple of ride reports. Bagel has been buying things, I think. Yeah, so we'll have a report on that. I took my Trident for a spin. Didn't set my genitalia on fire this time, but
That's good.
yeah, it is good. It's always a good
plus.
time. There was a big plus, but there were other incidents which I shall tell everyone about.
Oh.
But I think we should start. I mean, it's 2025.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
I know.
Crazy.
What do you want to do in the new year? I mean, what does everyone want to do? What does everyone want see 2025 being? Is it going to be great? Is it going to suck? Are we going to get a lot done? Are we going to get nothing done? And I mean, remember, this is Motorcycle Podcast, so we're not going down a political thing. I mean, this is just us as people.
Just don't say the J word. No J word tonight.
Oh, no. If everyone decides they're going to buy a Jeep.
No. Put $1 in the bucket.
Oh,
Put $1 in the
God
bucket.
dang it.
I think 2025 is shaping up marvelously, really. The calendar's starting to fill up.
It really is.
I mean, we got stuff. We got the Desert Hair right around the corner.
We do.
With Vegas shortly after that.
And then we got the rally, of course, which is the big one.
Misfits rally.
And the rally is such a good time.
Yeah.
Sold out again, I believe, this year.
I was checking out the campsite today, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah.
I was at Hollister. And,
Same campsite as we've done in the past.
I hope so.
Yeah, that spot's great.
It's a great spot down there by the river, and there's water and everything.
Right.
So I think 25 is shaping up marvelously.
Yeah, and then we've got all kinds of trips going on. I mean, I'm doing at least 3, to the best of my knowledge, in Europe this year.
I'm sticking close this year.
Really? You're not doing
No,
that?
I'm going to do the rally, of course. We're doing Desert Hair coming up. Sign up for the Desert Hair, y'all, if you haven't done it yet. It's coming soon. And then I want to do a long distance solo ride this year. I haven't done that in a while.
There you go.
Yeah,
Just like a John road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
What bike?
Tiger.
Where do you think? Which direction?
Oh, I'd like to get back over east.
Yeah.
Because west, you'd need
Pretty much
Yeah,
the only
there's
way
no
to
west.
go.
you'd need to
I'd like to
boats,
do
darling.
Montana, Wyoming,
Oh, yeah.
that area again. I
Dude,
just
heck
love
yeah.
that area. So it's been a couple of years. Last time I rode Liza's KLR out there. So
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See Michelle.
But meanwhile, what did we actually do today? Not much.
I saw fork seals with a leftover part.
yeah,
You know, I was... God, yeah, there's always one, isn't there? No, so fork seals continue to be one of the more popular things that gets done around here. And it's one of those things, everyone says, oh, God, it's so difficult. But if you know the correct steps and you have the correct tools, and having
Yes.
a fork driving tool is an absolute must. They're not bad, you know? The biggest problem, and it's a gripe of mine, is finding a bike with a bloody center stand these days.
Right? Yeah, because you have to get the What do you do to get the front wheel all that?
Right, exactly.
Stuff, yeah.
And I mean, there's various ways you can do that. I mean, inevitably, if say you get a sport bike come in and you've got the backup on a pit bull stand, then ideally you want a pit bull stand that holds it up on the front.
Yeah.
But the problem is with that is if you want to service the steering head bearings, you can't with a pit bull that goes up into the steering head. So you have to think of other means.
Got to strap it to the rafters.
Yeah.
Don't we have that center, that
The little small jack.
that
sometimes.
little jack that'll fit under the bottom?
Yeah,
a little
sometimes you can
sketch.
do that.
Okay.
It's always a little sketchy, and you really don't want to suspend motorbikes from the exhaust pipes. Unless
Oh, is that where it would be?
Yeah.
That's where it
Yeah,
would be?
because generally
Okay.
it's the lowest point.
Was it an NC7?
It was an NC
Yeah,
700.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Lot
Looks like a comfortable bike.
Yeah, there's a lot of myth talked about those bikes. Some real and some not. You know, people say very flippantly, "Oh, it's half a Honda Fit engine," and there's a lot of Honda Fit parts in an NC 700. I think the rods are the same and the pistons. The valves are the same, but it's a bit more than half.
As to fit the car.
Yeah,
Oh, no kidding.
yeah. Little 1500cc four-potter. But yeah, I mean, you could argue that the NC 700 is a short stroke half a fit in terms of internal parts. But what they did with that bike, they wanted really a clean slate. And so they bypassed the Motorcycle Design Bureau, and they actually got the Honda Car Design Bureau to get involved.
Now, is that the bike does not have a gas tank where it
No,
typically
yeah,
is?
well, with the gas tank is not where you'd expect it to be. And then where the gas tank normally is, it's like a big,
like a cooler.
almost an open area. I don't think it's big enough to get a helmet in, but you could put your sandwiches in there. You
Nice.
could probably put a kebab in there. I
Yeah,
would have
curious. Yeah.
thought. Absolutely. So, I mean, that was the extent of the big work today.
Henry did a thing on his FC.
Yeah, just routine servicing on the FC09.
There was quite the impressive upgrade, though, to the Amigo. I
Oh,
saw at the end of
absolutely.
the day.
So
Heavy customization.
I decided that Liza is such a dear.
Don't listen, Liza, if you're listening.
And yeah, because I don't want Liza's
It's a
head.
secret.
Cover your
It's
ears.
going to be a secret.
So I decided I really wanted to get Liza a Christmas present.
Oh,
And so I bought her a gift and we fitted it to the Amigo. So it'll be waiting for her when she comes back from a trip. And I think she'll be quite impressed. And you took a little video
yeah,
of the...
that'll be on Instagram.
yeah, it'll be on the gram of instance. So I think she'll be... I know Liza well enough that it's ridiculous enough. I think she'll enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm
Is,
not,
is it a sidecar?
no.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no, I wouldn't do that. No. I think Liza's experience with small capacity sidecars is largely over at this stage. You know. So I think it's as good a time as any. John, you did a couple of rides. Jim, you did a couple of rides.
Yep.
Let's start with John. Where did you go?
So, well, Jim and I did it together. So, Jim, Craig, and I went to Hollister. We went twice. Jim went 3 times.
How's the going out at Hollister?
Oh my God. The dirt was incredible because it was moist. I love that word, moist.
Yeah.
It was very moist and grippy. You know, we were there. There weren't that many people there, which was wonderful. Half the park is still closed.
What were you riding?
I was on the DRZ.
And you were probably on your
Honda 450.
the 450.
Yeah.
And Craig Zilla? It's on his Husky.
On his
Yeah.
Husky
That was
501.
500, yeah.
Yeah. So good size bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hoot. Yeah, so Hollister Hills SVRA. It's cool the state keeps it open. It's pretty well maintained. You know, they got washed out 3 years ago, I guess it was, right? The first Misfits rally we had pushed back. And they've continued to kind of make improvements out there ever since as far as drainage work and culverts. But the riding was great. You know, we had a bunch of rain that came through, Santa Cruz County and Monterey. But Hollister, you know, it doesn't get a ton of rain like we do. You know, in a normal year, I think they get 10 inches, right? Which isn't a lot. So it wasn't super wet. Like John said, a lot of the park was closed, or maybe 2/3 was, but there's still plenty to ride. And I think the weather scared people away.
We did get dumped on.
Yeah, we did ride in the rain, which is pretty cool. I haven't
Yeah.
ridden in the rain out there before, which is kind of fun. So it was really sandy and grippy because there was moisture in the soil. And it's always fun to ride with friends. So we had a nice variety of riding.
Yeah.
Craig's a better rider than we are, so he was doing it's fun to watch him ride
It's
some of the
always fun.
harder stuff.
Yeah. He tries to get us on those double black diamond trails every once in a while too.
Yeah, but no.
But I'm always interested in. So you've got three very, very different bikes.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Husky, which is very much the tool for the job.
Mm-hmm.
The Honda, and the Honda's an interesting case because that new 450 really is a competition bike with lights on.
Yeah, except it's heavy. It's not
Right.
by that in that 450 class. I'd say it's not light. And that's the advantage of these European bikes. If
They're super lightweight. And then in amongst it all, there's the grandpa, the
Yeah.
DRZ 400.
I really like that bike. It's sorted out finally. It's running really good. It's heavy, for a dirt bike. But for my my skill level, it's kind of perfect for me right now. I'm not getting in too much trouble. It's very planted. And it's just running really good.
So you put the Kihei carb on it?
Yes, it was on it. I got it rebuilt.
Okay, so is that what comes stock, or was that an
No,
aftermarket?
no, that's
Well,
something you got it?
they come with two, and it depends on which one you
Well,
get.
the E comes with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the DRZ
Live and S.
500E comes with a pumper.
Mm.
And then most of the other ones just come with the CV.
Okay.
And the CV is perfectly adequate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when the pumper works, it works good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But with the three bikes, we all rode pretty much the same pace.
Yeah.
You let like 30 seconds or go in between,
Right.
leave. But no, I think we all rode at a pretty good pace. And yeah, bikes work great,
I had a
but
blast.
they are very different bikes. You see so many of the KTMs now and Husqvarnas. They just seem to dominate, but whatever. They all work,
Yeah.
But the curious thing is I saw it every day I was there, the Stark Varg electric motocross bike.
Yeah, I saw that guy went flying. Well, it had the two-stroke flew by me, and then so it's like super loud, then super quiet.
Yeah. Well, pretty much everybody flies by us, but
Exactly.
that's okay. But yeah, like John said, two-stroke man goes by, and then just like you really don't even hear any noise.
Well,
from
you told me something interesting. Like 10 minutes ago, less than 10 minutes ago, because you went back to Hollister today on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm riding out, and as I did some riding, and I was coming back to the truck to have a little snack, take a break, and I look over and I see the Stark Varg, and if you've seen them, it's in that gray color, and it's kind of leaned up against where a fence is near a building, and I'm like, why is it there? And I look, and the state had installed an electric bike charging station.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, out at the park, they have a dedicated electric bike charging station. So they seem to be embracing it out there. And I'm like, I think it's cool. The one really appealing thing about the electric dirt bikes, for me, it's the quiet. Like to be able to go in the woods and like hear the animals and sneak up on animals and that whole thing, that is kind of cool. I still like our gas dirt bikes. They're just fun, the clutch and gas and noise and ripping.
But I don't think we could do the desert stuff for multiple days on that because you can't charge it unless you bring a generator.
Yeah. I think they're getting there. They're making a shift. I don't know a lot. And you may know they're shifting to solid state batteries, and this is going to be a
I've read
thing.
some things about that.
So what's the skinny with the solid state shift?
I think that they have shorter charging times and greater capacity.
Yeah.
So basically about double.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We
Yeah.
need less time charging and more playtime.
Is there still lithium, or what are they a different substance?
They're lithium, but they use a different electrode technology, basically.
Oh, cool.
So coming along. But it's kind of fun to see that.
Yeah, because that interface between the electrode and the lithium cell has kind of always been the weak point. So if they have a new design for that could be mean a lot of good things to come.
So when Bagel plays with my electrodes, that's the weak point. Right, Bagel?
Weak in the knees.
Gives you that tingling feeling.
Yes,
Weak in the knees.
absolutely. So how was it today on your own?
It was a hoot, except just way more people. When we went last week, I think the weather, because like John said, we rode in the rain half the time one day. So I think the weather had scared people away, which was brilliant because I hardly saw anybody. But today, it was just chock full of people. And it's cool in the sense that when you get on the trails, you don't usually see too many people, but there were still just a lot of people. So I rode trails for maybe like an hour and a half. And that was cool. And then they have these little slow trials kind of areas where it's just kind of slow through the woods, first gear, second gear, down a gully, up a gully, you know.
And this is going to be just bikes only. You're not going to get quads.
Exactly. No quads. Exactly. No quads. And it's just slow. So no one's going to come ripping around a corner and like lose it into you or that kind of thing. Because these young kids, man, they go fast. We saw some kids going sideways around these turns that
they were those kids that were next to us too in the pits, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They were funny to listen to.
Yeah, they were hilarious. Like these 18 or 19-year-old kids, but fast. So anyway, it's nice to get out. So, we're blessed where we live. We can get out this time of year and the bikes ran good, but it's fun. The bikes are so different, like you mentioned, but like I said, we all kept pace and we all had a good time.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I doubt Craig ever gets out of first gear riding with us.
Yeah.
But you're getting a practice in for the Desert Hare.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. So the dates, just to remind everybody, are the 16th through the 20th.
Yeah. Give or take. Come to all of it. Some of it come early, stay late.
So if you want to come, you need to email Jim or I, because we'll give you the waypoint.
Yeah.
Of where we're going to be.
What I'll tell you what, I'll have Liza posted on Facebook, the GPS point, and then John, you can post it on Instagram.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll send you the GPS point, and the directions and all that kind of shit.
So show up if you want. Bring your own water. Bring your own wood. It's dry camping. There is a little bathroom quarter mile away, but just be prepared for the desert.
I know I've been asked this before. What are you expecting the weather to be like?
So, who the hell knows?
I checked it out. It could be anything. Right now, it just looks cold. So clear and cold. So beautiful during the day. High of 62.
Oh, that's
low
nice.
Could be in the 30s.
Yeah.
And I still do it. We all do it. It's always colder than you think it's going to be.
Yeah, it is.
Especially at about 3 a.m.
Right.
4 a.m. You're like, motherfucker, it's cold out here. So, but otherwise it looks dry. That's the big thing. And I don't think it's going to be windy. So those are the big ones. If we can escape the wind, that would be cool. And, the rain, that would be cool too. But like John said, it could change on a dime. But right now, just plan to bundle up at night. But the riding should be great. I think they've got some rain down there. It's still before the King of the Hammers, so we're gonna be a couple of weeks before King of the Hammers. So I'm thinking it won't be too busy down there. So come on down, BLM land, blow stuff up, shoot guns, ride bikes, do all the stuff.
Yeah,
it's kid friendly too.
It's fun for the entire family.
Well, one of our misfit families are coming, and they have a child under 10, I think. And they're hoping for some playmates. So, if not, here's a big lighter. Have fun.
Right. Do you ride dirt, Neil? Or are you mostly street these days?
Mostly street. I rode dirt bikes as a kid, since starting at about 9 or 10 years old. And
I think it was a California thing.
Yeah,
a lot of people did. Done any decent rides? Because we actually have had some decent weather here in California. I should point out, by the way, that right now, England is under blizzard conditions.
Really?
If you didn't know,
I did not know.
I spoke to my brother.
Oh, yeah. I did see some in the UK, a lot of snow.
Just up north or down south?
No, everywhere.
Oh, wow.
No, everywhere. So nobody's riding over there right now. But, we've had some decent weather. You had any decent rides?
Well, I've got one ride over the hill to work so far. I actually took a few weeks off of riding because I had some surgery done on my hand. And
that's right.
Yeah, so it's healed up now.
Okay.
So I'm breaking the anakies in, rubbing the teats off them.
Yes.
And the mold compound. So I'm back into it again. Dirt bikes.
I should point out that the V-Strom did in fact don't do that.
What now?
No, the V-Strom did in fact get a lot of loving TLC.
Yeah, she had a spa day down at
Emma.
Motortown?
Down at Motortown. Had some new shoes fitted.
Oh.
I forget how good those
So Anakin's? What did you do?
Anakies. Michelin Anakies. Yeah.
So Emma saved me too. My Harley got new shoes from Mototown.
Oh God. But that's only half.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. So I mentioned it last week a little bit, but I was going by, like I said, my dad put a odd rim on the front. He liked the mag rim on the front for some reason. It's the Harley Sportster 48. It came with spoked wheels.
Yeah, but he was worried about blowout.
He was worried about a blowout with my mom in the back. So, but I wanted to go back to the original because I thought it looked funky with two separate rims on it. And I had the rim. I had to clean it up. It was all rusty. and it needed a tire. So I wrote it. We went down and Emma graciously put some new shoes on, came back, and I could not fit the front. What happened when I was taking the wheel off, I could not get the axle out. I had to sort of really beat it to get it out. So something was weird when it came out. I'm like, oh, this is weird. So then when I was going to put it back on, I couldn't get it to fit back in. And I've never experienced anything like this before.
Did you see any scraping on it or anything?
It was knurled anyway, so it would be hard to see. So I'm beating my head against the wall. I finally called Emma and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I mean, this is like the simplest task in the world. Mm-hmm. It turned out that I guess Harleys sometimes have different size front axles. I'm not sure what's going on there, but she hooked me up with an axle and it worked.
So my suspicion is that when John's dad changed the wheel, he had to change the axle.
Yeah.
And didn't, because you're mismatching parts. See, the thing is with Harleys.
But the wheel turned and everything?
Yeah. But the thing is with Harleys, they are kind of weird because, they got Japanese forks on them. They got Showa forks. So the forks are metric, but the rest of the bike is AF.
Freedom units.
Well, the stupid thing about Harleys, too, it's like you got to have all your tools out. You got to have Torx, you got to have metric, and you got to have SAE. It's like, gosh, why can't we just pick one and stick with it? Mm-hmm. That's Harley.
But anyway, I had an axle sitting around, funnily enough, off Super Glide, but it fitted perfectly, didn't it?
It did. It was great.
Like butter.
Like butter.
Off the Super Glide?
Nice.
Yeah, off my Super Glide. Well, I redid all the axles on mine in like stainless. So, because I like that shiny shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've never been so frustrated though, because it was such a simple thing.
I bet you have though.
Maybe I have. I don't know.
No, you have. I bet you have.
But I took it for a ride. So my first real ride on that thing because the tires were so bad. So I went up the coast. It was cold. So I was going to go all the way up to Half Moon Bay and get some clam chowder. But I only made it up to Davenport because it was so cold. And I kicked off up Empire Grade up into Summit and then came down Alba Road. I don't know if you guys have been up there recently. It's completely paved now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So it's clean.
Yeah, after the fire.
Nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was fun. So came down, went to La Placa Family Bakery. It's a little Italian bakery up in Ben Lomond. And came home. Fun little ride. And I'm liking the Harley. It's fun. It's a whole different, it's very rudimentary. No heated grips. There's no windscreen. There's nothing. So it's a whole different vibe of riding. It's loud and grunty and it snorts and farts and it's a Harley. So
right.
it's
now,
fun.
it's the same thing on mine. I mean, it definitely scratches an itch.
Yeah.
But it's like nothing else on earth.
But I'm definitely not itching to do a long distance ride in the thing. It's
I think you'd want a bit more suspension.
Yeah, the Tiger's much better for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a ride report today. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Yes. Tell us about your ride, Emma.
So, I just finished the Suzuki GS 850, the restoration, which pretty much everyone's seen by now. And I thought, I'm going to install it in Jameson's museum just for a little while.
Oh, that's cool.
And I thought, okay, well, this is an ideal opportunity for me to pull my purple Trident out and, just fall in love with the Trident again because. So I did the old switcheroo. So the GS 850 went in, Trident came out. And I've been doing a little monkeying around with the timing on that and just getting it running very well. And it is running really well right now. So I thought, I'll give it a good ride today. Now, bear in mind, this bike has tried to set my genitalia on fire before. So I'm very pleased to report nothing like that happened today. However, I was reminded Tridents can absolutely break your heart. So today's incident, there is a tiny, it's tiny. There is a tiny little oil seal that lives behind the electronic ignition. And it is it's the size of just a tiny, tiny oil seal. It's maybe an inch in diameter, which failed.
When you say failed?
I haven't been in there yet. It either failed or blew out of its seal, out of its hole. I have never in my life seen that much oil leak out of
that's what I was asking.
It was like the Exxon Valdez.
Oh, no.
And in fact, I was in the company of a guy on a Goldwing, and I knew something was wrong because the bike's running great, and we pull up at a traffic light, And he looks at my bike with horror, and he pulls up alongside and looks at it some more, and he's like, Emma? I'm like, what? And I look underneath, and it is just, it's not dripping, it is throwing oil.
Heaving, it is heaving oil.
Absolutely hemorrhaging oil. I'm like, oh, well, good. Because I'm quite close to home now. Oh. So I've got a lovely shiny boot now. Oh. And I've got a...
At least you knew there was still oil in it because there was still oil coming out.
Well, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's the method. And that's why British bikes have oil tanks.
It's a total loss.
Yeah, you can run them quite low on oil without the worry. But, I've got to try and figure out what happened. Because when something like that happens, if it's just a hard oil seal, because remember, this bike's 53 years old. It might just be hard rubber. And in a lot of ways, okay, it's a hard rubber seal, it blew. Fine. But if it actually blew out, you need to get to the root cause of that. And it could be like excess pressure within the engine. So I might have to put some breathers on it. You know, most English bikes benefit from extra breathers because, keeping oil inside them is not their favorite thing to do.
Apparently not.
No. I remember I had a Bonneville years ago, and I always used to run it on 2050. Because if you put 1040 in it, it just comes straight out the bottom. So you have to put 2050 in it, and it'd stay in, you see. Yeah, it's very good. It literally is one thing after another with Tridents. But
so how hard is it to get to that?
Oh, it's not hard.
Oh, okay.
It's not hard. You just pull the... mine's actually got... electronic ignition, so you just pull the electronic ignition out, and of course you mark everything so you get the timing right afterwards, and it's right there, and you literally... I have a suspicion it blew out
because of pressure.
That's what I think, because I was giving it the beans quite a bit. This trouble is with that damn Trident is it sounds so good. You want to give it the beans. Well, it's not just triples sound good anyway, but push-rod triples, oh, God.
Where'd you ride?
I went down through Monterey down 17-mile drive. So, did they...
They let you down 17-mile drive?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you couldn't take a bike down.
They don't let us down 17-mile drive.
Well, that's because you're a hooligan.
You're a wanker.
Yeah, exactly. You got to know who to bribe, darling.
Apparently so.
Yeah. No, I got friends who live at Pebble Beach, so, I say, I'm visiting.
Going to visit, yeah.
I'm going to visit. Oh, yeah, in you come. Tra-la-la. But I think the main attraction today, Bagel.
Yes.
You've been buying, haven't you?
I did something,
Well,
yes.
no, hang on, because I want to get to the bottom of this. Excluding this one.
Yes.
How many vehicles do you own?
Vehicles in total?
Yes.
Before this one would have been, I believe, 29.
Jeez. How many run?
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3.
I'm going to stop you there before you embarrass yourself.
Hold on. One of them is a trailer, so technically it could go on the road. So I will.
But it's not on the road right now.
Well, I'm not using it, but I could pull it if I had to.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. I mean, it is roadworthy.
It's roadworthy, yes.
Okay, all right.
All right. So that'll be 3, and then another 4. So that'll be 7 are roadworthy at the moment.
Oh, well, that's a higher number than I expected. Does the new one run?
It does not.
Okay, so we're now up to 30.
God forbid.
But the ratio of running bikes remains the same. So your aggregate is actually going up or down.
The one that I relieved myself of last month or about 2 months ago was also non-running, has now been replaced by another non-running bike.
Oh, okay. Did you get rid of the one you got 2 months ago?
Well, no. That was I brought that Passport down for Scotty.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So that was -1 then.
Okay.
But now I have procured something much more interesting.
I saw a picture of it.
Did you?
It's very pretty.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty in its own way, I suppose. It's very rough at the moment, but it is fairly complete. It's missing a few little things here and there, but not bad for something for as old as it is. What I have is a 1956 Vespa 150, which is also, yes, 1956, which is now the oldest vehicle that I own.
Mm.
And it was part of a horde, I guess you could call it, of scooters that someone in the area has been hanging on to since probably the 80s or longer. And this one was a bike that had been, sitting for about that whole time. And he's recently decided to let a few of his bikes go here and there. And at the Scooter Club Christmas party, a couple of my friends rolled up with 3 bikes in the back of the truck that they had liberated from this guy in the area. And one of the two were 1956, one was 1957.
Oh, no, I'm going to stop you there, Bagel.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a unique insight into what makes scooter people tick. Where was the Scooter Club Christmas party?
It was in Eugene at a friend's house.
Oh, it was a house party.
Yeah.
It wasn't like at McDonald's or something.
No. No.
Okay.
Swingers
Club. Not a Chuck E. Cheese.
Swingers Club. Oh my God.
God.
All right. Very
So
good.
is this the Struzio? I'm looking at a 1956 Struzio.
Struzzo. It's called Struzzo, which is the I think it's swan neck. I think is what it's called, because it has a. It's the first Vespa to have the headlight up on top, or the first style Vespa to have the headlight up on top, where the first Vespas had just a handlebar with a headlight on the front fender. And then after several years, they decided to move the headlight farther up because certain markets wouldn't allow the headlight to be that far low that's down on the fender.
Faro basso.
Exactly. So they added a higher headlight, which had a little clamshell housing that just basically bolted onto the handlebars and put the headlight up higher. And this was one of the first models that had that. And then in the next year, actually, after that, they went to a full headset for the standard 150 model, which they'd actually done with the Vespa GS, the sport model, since 1955. And that became the standard for Vespas from pretty much then on.
Right.
There's
now,
an enclosed headset.
Educate me here. Is this what you'd call a small frame Vespa?
No, this is what's known as a wide body Vespa. Small frame Vespas didn't come in until 1963.
Oh, wow. So it's a wide body Vespa.
Yes, this is the older style. Basically, the first generation of Vespas were known as wide bodies because they have literally a wider body. One of the characteristics is the engine cowl has there's like a cutout in the frame where the cylinder goes on the engine. Kind of a circular cutout of just like they scooped a big scoop out of the frame almost, and then the engine cowl that covers it has a little circular piece that kind of covers that scoop out of the frame. So it's a very distinctive look. It's very kind of very funky design, and each cowl on the rear is a different size. The glove box cowl is a little bit smaller on the left hand side, I believe.
Oh, that sounds interesting. So what is your grand plan with this? Are you going to do a complete restoration? I mean, Jim just showed me a picture, and I mean, this thing is cute as a bug's ear.
Yeah.
Really
nice details on it.
Yeah, I do plan to do a restoration on it. Not concourse level, but enough to make it bring it back to rideable and a nice looking bike. That shows its age and wear to a degree. The paint on it is pretty bad, so it is going to need to be repainted because it's been repainted several times before already. And there's not much left of the original paint from what I can tell.
What was the original color?
It was a cream color.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's
very nice. Yeah. There's a Vespa model that is out there. I think New Ray is the company that sold it. It's a very large, like 1/6 scale Vespa model. They make it with a sidecar and without. I don't know if Liza has one, but they're you see them frequently online and on eBay and stuff. But that's pretty much the exact same bike as what I have. And but yeah, it's a very cool bike. It's got 8-inch wheels, so it's very low to the ground. And in fact, if you remember, a couple of years ago at Vintage Motorcycle Days, I bought a stash of Vespa parts for $100.
Yeah,
and those parts are for this exact same style bike,
great.
Vespa 150.
Perfect.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is a bike that you were particularly looking for, or
I've kind of had a soft spot for these for a while, just because they're very cool vintage design, vintage style Vespa. And there's something about that wide body style that, that's a very cool look. So, and after my Pakistan trip where I rode an 8-inch Vespa, 2,000 kilometers through the north of Pakistan, I really got an appreciation for the 8-inch wheeled bikes. Now, of course, last summer I got an 8-inch wheeled bike with my Allstate that I won in the raffle, which is also another project that does not run. But now I have an even older one, which I think is even cooler. So I'm very stoked to have this one. And the great thing is that, like, these don't really come up very often these days. And to have an opportunity to find one that just kind of fell in my lap, and I got a decent price on it too. So I couldn't say no. And I had to go for it.
It's a trap to a certain extent that we all fall into. I mean, things that we take for granted that are always going to be there,
right,
suddenly become in very, very short supply. And, I don't ever recall a time when I saw tons of Vespas riding around, but there was a time when they were far more popular than they are now.
Yep, for sure.
Especially the vintage ones. And that 850 of mine, I mean, that was an incredibly popular bike in its day. And like you, Bagel, I've had one of those things on my radar for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And it took me years to get the right one because they're just getting so rare now. Or decent ones are so rare. But I saw pictures of yours. It's kind of metallic blue in the back and kind of brown in the front. Or
well, it's the other way around. It's like a dark sort of metallic red in the back and a faded blue in the front. And I'm not sure exactly, what color it was at what time, but I think it went from cream to blue and then to the red. So I wanted to try to gently take off some of the layers that are on there and see, just kind of get an idea of what's underneath. Because if there is enough decent original paint, I might just, try to strip off the respray and take it back down to original paint and just kind of preserve it as is. But we'll see once I get a chance to get into it.
We can add it to the list of projects.
The very long list that, yes, someday with my infinite time and resources I will tackle, I'm sure.
Well, look, thanks for sharing, Bagel. Actually, yes. I've got to be honest with you. I saw a picture of it and I'm like, yeah, this is a good looking bike.
Yeah, it's a cool bike.
But which was the model? I remember the model with the big hips that was considered a very sort of feminine form for the Vespa.
I mean, they all are like that. The older ones. I mean, this is one of them. I think it's called the VL3 is the model that I have. But the Vespa GS, even the 125s.
But the wide body's probably the hippiest of them all, as it were.
Yeah. This one in particular, because the very first Vespas in the late 40s were a little bit smaller. Then I think by the time they got to the early 50s, they started to get a little bit bigger in size. So like 51 to 56 are the wide body handlebar bikes with the really big hips, and this is one of the later ones.
Oh, fantastic! Well, I follow its progress with great anticipation.
Excellent.
So look, there was a couple of things we wanted to talk about in the broader scheme of things tonight. The first is the continuing saga of KTM.
Oh, poor KTM.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. They continue to be
pouring out for KTM.
So you mentioned, Neil, they're dumping MV Agusta.
Yes. Oh, my.
And number one, they need money. But I think it was the CEO of MV Agusta said, look, this was not a great relationship anyway, which I tend to agree with. I mean, MV Agusta have really been going through so many owners these days, and it's almost like they're trying to find the perfect partner for them
Think it'll end up Chinese?
Oh, God. Well, China does seem to have the money for
I mean, Kajiva is, and
right, exactly, and Benelli.
Moroni is.
Yeah.
Benelli, yeah.
Right, but there's still a whole bunch of like, I mean, it's not just a name though, right? They still have a whole bunch of intellectual property that they're
Still
making
producing
and selling.
bikes. Yeah.
Right.
Well, to a certain extent, that's the same with Benelli. It's just, it's a Chinese company. And when you actually work on one of these things, they are quite odd because they've got Italian components in that if you work on a modern Benelli, it's got Marzocchi forks and it's got Brembo brakes, but they're kind of weird. They're kind of low budget versions.
Not top spec. Yeah.
So they're also made in China. Is what you're saying?
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe.
It could be.
That you certainly would have to hunt very hard to find a made in Italy, but they're Italian name brands on it.
Right. Because it's all outsourced there now.
Right.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's going to be the home for MV Augusta, but I mean, God, poor KTM.
Well, I heard they were getting pressure from their investors to stop all the racing support, which would be a big loss for just about every form of racing right now.
Well, the problem is racing costs money.
Yeah,
and it costs a
cheap.
huge amount of money.
But it's what's making their name, too, because they're winning.
Right.
I just saw, I think they've won the Paris Dakar, or the Dakar now, 11 times in a row now. I mean, it's just amazing, their records.
Right. But lack of money is also making their financial crisis, too.
Exactly.
Oh, Jim.
Right.
Yes.
Dakar started, didn't it?
Oh.
Did it?
We'll shift gears. Yes, the Dakar started. Yeah, I just caught some of the highlights we were watching a little bit earlier today. So, yes, the Dakar.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think they're at stage 2 at this point where we are with things. I think almost the first stage of the prologue, they have all these funny names for things, but the beginning sounded like it was really tough, hard to navigate, very rocky, very challenging beginning. And then we saw some of the highlights today, stage 2, and it looked much more flowing. Still a lot of rocks, but then big flowing dunes, just massive dunes. So I don't know much else. I know the usual people are in the hunt. I think Brabeck was in second after the first day, something like that.
But I mean, wouldn't that be a tragedy that KTM do so well, as inevitably they always seem to do, and then just have the plug pulled on them?
Yeah, well, especially in the hard enduro world, that's where you really see a lot of it too. A lot of hard enduro I don't think would exist.
MotoGP now too.
And MotoGP.
Yeah, and flat track now.
Yeah. So, we'll see. But I mean, it's such a strong brand. I mean, I don't know much about the whole thing, but it's hard to believe that they're not going to, MV Agusta and things like that. Hopefully it's not, collateral damage, but you hate to think that KTM or Husqvarna is going to actually go away.
Right. MV Agusta have been a boutique brand for 50 years. I mean, it's basically they make very exotic bikes for well-heeled people. And I mean, that's how they've always been. And like most brands like that, they've kind of struggled from one financial crisis to another. But yeah, KTM.
Well, I'll be curious to see, what do you do with a massive inventory of bikes, right? I was reading an article and just says they're sitting on just a load of motorcycles, of new motorcycles.
Right. And if you go to, say, our local dealer, if you go to Gilroy, he's got tons of KTMs in stock.
Yeah.
So the dealers are full.
Guess it depends on if you got a liquidate or not. I mean,
do you see a lot of those at Mototown, Emma? Do you see a lot of KTMs and Husqvarnas?
No, I mean, it's the lion's share of my work is Japanese, of course.
Yeah.
But funny enough, I've got 2 KTMs coming in next week, both for pretty big major services.
Do you find they change kind of not year to year necessarily, but every 5 or 10 years they're different in the way that the Japanese bikes are not? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's the thing is, there's very much a formula with which Japanese bikes are made, and that covers the entire spectrum of bikes, whether you're working on cruisers, adventure bikes, sport bikes, dirt bikes. Japanese bikes are screwed together pretty much the same way. You can see this certain way of thinking in the engineering. European bikes, they're very, very different, and they reinvent themselves like at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, I noticed because there's just so many models. It's like, you have a hard time keeping up with and maybe it's just me too, though, but there's, the KTM, there's the 250s and the 300s and the 350s and 400s.
Well, and you
these,
take the you take the 350 and you've got the XE, the XAE, XAEF, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how many different models can there be with one size engine? But I mean, they all do
that sounds like another worldwide manufacturer of a...
Right.
That has a lot of alphabet soup, different versions of basically the same platform.
Right. And I mean, yes.
Who's that?
Guess.
So Harley has
Harley?
that.
Yeah.
And Harley, yeah.
Yeah.
But I tell you, that 350 EXCF is pretty sweet. But you had mentioned they're kind of quirky at the same time.
They can be.
Yeah.
All European bikes have got their, have got their little quirks. We tend to get very, very anesthetized to motorcycle maintenance and motorcycle reliability because, the Japanese manufacturers over the years, they've really ratcheted down reliability, and with a couple of exceptions. I mean, you buy a Japanese bike, it's not going to give you any trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there are always exceptions to prove the rule, but European bikes, especially Huskies, are quirky. They really are. And Indian bikes too. I guarantee I've got a little fleet of Royal Enfields I look after at the shop, and they do weird shit. I'll get like one of my Royal Enfield customers will say, went out to my bike this morning and it won't start. I'm like, okay, get it towed in. So he'll drag it in. And it's like the wire broke off the coil. I was like, what? Just weird stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like the tang for the wire on the coil broke off.
So it's like quality control stuff.
Well, I'm not even sure. Shit. It's just weird.
Okay.
But yeah.
It's still some learning process going on and finding those weak points that have been ironed out decades ago by the Japanese manufacturers.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was always wondering about KTM. Do they really need KTM, Husky, and gas at this? I mean, they're all basically very similar models except for some suspension issues. It feels really redundant. On top of all the different models.
But you're approaching that from the point of view of an American. In Europe, there's some fierce brand loyalty.
Yes.
I mean, you've got Husqvarna owners who wouldn't dream of swinging a leg over a KTM. Or worse still, a gas. And vice versa. There's some really, really very, very fierce brand loyalty over there. So, I mean, they all sell, and they all sell well in their respective countries. Number one selling bike in Austria. KTM, duh.
Yeah.
Number one selling bike in Sweden. Husky. No surprises there. There's always, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, there's always this reverence for the domestic product. Always, and it's nowhere more evident than in Europe. And it's not destructive. I mean, you don't trash other people. His Husky's best, everything else is shit. But it's just this very, very fierce brand loyalty. Once you understand that, you understand why you have an umbrella manufacturer with so many similar models. But, they're appealing to very, very different people depending on where they live. But circling back to the Japanese, I read an interesting article online. So, of course, it's got to be true. And the article was headed, "Was the Suzuki GS 750 the best bike Kawasaki ever made or never made?" And you're like, hang on, what are you trying to get at here? So I kind of thumbed through the article, and I thought I'd kind of expand on this because I know a little bit about this this whole time frame and what became in my opinion, one of the greatest Japanese bikes ever made, came about, why it came about, and the kind of timeline based around it. So we've got to go back to the early 1970s. And in the early 1970s, if you go to around 71, 72, the Honda 754 had already been out for a couple of years, and it was really well established. And people, Honda 754. And they'd already released the 504, so they'd got a couple of four-cylinder bikes in their lineup. Yamaha had already released the XS 650. Back then it was called the XS1 and then the XS2. But it was very much based on the theory behind English bikes. It was a twin-cylinder bike. It looked like a Bonneville or a BSA, but of course it didn't leak oil, and, you know, it had 5 speeds, and it was a wonderful thing. Kawasaki and Suzuki were doggedly hanging on to two-strokes, because that's where the performance was. And they both kind of saw themselves as more performance manufacturers. Kawasaki were going for the all-out street racer stoplight to stoplight crowd. So you had the H1 500, the H2, you had the S3 400, the S2 350, the S1, which was the 250. This whole range of 3-cylinder two-strokes. Suzuki had a couple of 2-cylinder bikes. They had the Tiddler, the 185. Then they had the 250 Samurai. They had the 350 Samurai. And then this range of triples. They had the 380, the 550, and the 750, which wheeled with...
My dad had a GT 350.
Right.
Yeah.
So the GT 350 was the Hustler.
Yeah.
Great bike.
Yeah.
Very, very fastest 350 you could buy at one stage. So these were great bikes.
And the Kawasaki Z1?
Well, now, so here's 73 comes along, and Kawasaki said, right, here's the big reveal. Here's the big reveal. Out pops the Z1.
Okay.
4-cylinder like the 754, but instead of one cam, now it's a twin cam. And they make this big deal out of it having 2 cams. If you look at a Z900 engine, it's obvious it's got 2 camshafts. It's got these 2 big protrusions at the top of the cylinder head. So you know it's a twin cam engine.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at the bike, the 754 is very much a product of the 60s. The Z1 was very much a product of the 70s. It's a considerably more modern-looking bike.
You had that kind of styled tail section.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was just like, it was an evolution of the speech. Everyone was, oh, bloody hell, this thing's great. And that set the tone for Kawasaki for the next few years. They were set. And when the Z1 came out, there was a couple of years left in the 500s, the 2-strokes. There was a couple of years left in the 752 strokes, but it was pretty much writing on the wall. And it wasn't just evolution. I mean, the EPA were really clamping down very, very hard on emissions. I mean, you think about the way the cars went. You know, there was a time in the 1970s you could buy like a 7-litre Pontiac with 100 horsepower because it just had so much emissions crap on it.
Yeah.
So emissions were really biting, and the days of the 2-strokes were coming towards an end. And Kawasaki said, right, this is going to be the direction our company is going to go in from this point forward. And if you think about it in those terms, from the Z1 on, all the new models were kind of based around that. They did a 750 twin, but again, it was based on that aggressive twin cam setup. They did a 650, which was a gorgeous little thing. And they pitched the 650 as having the performance of a 750, which it kind of did. And then they did the Z750s and so on and so forth. So, I mean, that was their direction. Suzuki kind of started barking up the wrong tree, I feel. And Suzuki back then, I want to kind of try and make sure I phrase this right. They wanted to be seen as the innovators. They wanted to be the clever manufacturer.
Is that why they went rotary?
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's very, very easy to look back and say, what the hell were you thinking? But in the mid-70s, a lot of big manufacturers thought rotary was the future.
Like Mazda.
Yeah.
Mazda was one of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
NSU. Yeah, NSU was another one. Citroën actually put out a bi-rotor car. And
the AMC Pacer was supposed to have a rotary.
There you go.
It was.
Oh, wow.
The Pacer.
Wow.
So this was really thought of a way of the future. And Suzuki bought in to the whole rotary thing in a big way. Now, remember, they had no four-strokes in their inventory up to that point. In 1975, Suzuki had no four-strokes. And so along comes this rotary, and it's very difficult to classify rotaries. I mean...
Right, is it even a four-stroke?
It's a rotary stroke.
Right.
And it's kind
one
of
stroke.
and it's kind of difficult to classify how big they are. I mean, you take like what's known as a 500cc rotary. Yes, you look at it one way, it could be a 250, but you look at it another way, it could be 1,000. So anyway, they come out with this RE5, and I'm not going to dwell on it. One day in the near future, I'm going to do a history hole just on the RE5 because it's a very, very interesting bike. But for the purpose of our story tonight, it was a complete disaster. It looked weird.
One quote about it was that the engine looked like a stack of pots and pans.
Well, if you look at the individual components of the engine, there's nothing particularly strange about each individual piece. But the way it's arranged, nothing was where you'd expect it to be. You have a front wheel, and then a radiator, and then this just mishmash of shapes, none of which look like they belong there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at
and Neil described like pots and pans, or
it is. It's like kitchen appliances, all kind of stacked on top of each other.
Exactly.
And on top of that, a lot of the bikes suffered from overheating problems. I remember Cycle World were out in, I want to say it was Barcelona for the launch, and there were 5 of these things all lined up at a traffic light in downtown Barcelona, and all the journalists were tapping each other on the shoulder and pointing at the temperature gauge of their bikes, which was firmly in the red.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one.
How was their performance?
It wasn't, and here's the biggest problem of all. Suzuki wanted this to replace the GT 750, but the GT 750 was a far superior bike. It was quicker, more economical. It's difficult to comprehend that a 3-cylinder 2-stroke would be more economical than this thing, but it guzzled fuel. It wasn't slow, but it certainly wasn't quick either. It sounded odd. It had this sort of weird little motorboat sound to it.
Didn't they have oil seal problems too?
Oh, yeah. And rotor tip problems and just...
all the usual rotary BS. Yeah.
All the stuff that it wasn't a developed engine. Now, these days, I mean, the last Mazda rotaries were genuinely great cars and went like absolute hell. Amazing little things.
Was it the RX-7? Was that it?
Yeah, I think so.
The last generation of RX-7 with a 3-rotor motor was a real jewel of a car.
But it took 60 years of development to get to that point. And the fact is that the RE5 was just underdeveloped. So now 76 comes along. And 1976, it's the bicentennial, and America's celebrating, and quite right too. And the EPA are saying, this is it, guys. You know, we need results. I mean, the days of the 2-stroke are over. And Suzuki are scrambling. They've spent all their R&D budget on this bike, which is not selling, which in effect, from a sales standpoint, is a terrible bike. So what do? You copy the competition.
You pivot.
You do it.
you pivot.
And this was actually...
You do a Ural.
This was absolutely a master stroke. Because what they did was they copied the latest. And the latest, as we've already discussed, was the Z1. But they thought, okay, we're going to make it a mass appeal. We want it to appeal to a broader section. Because a 900cc bike... we don't think of it as a particularly big bike now, but in the early 70s,
it was huge.
Big bike.
It was very
This
intimidating.
was super bike territory.
It was the fastest thing you could buy at the time.
So 750 was a nice compromise. Everyone was used to a 750. By 1976, everything was 750. The Bonneville was a 750. The Commando was already an 850. tons of Japanese 750s out there already. It's a nice number, it's an approachable number. So that's going to be the size. We're going to copy the Kawasaki engine. So it's going to be 4 cylinders. It's going to be twin cam. It's going to look really similar to the Kawasaki engine because it's a good-looking engine. We're going to put our own stamp on the bodywork. And Suzuki have always been fond of angles. And if you look at any of the later Suzukis from that period of time, they're all quite boxy. And they've got this very, very muscular, boxy look. And that's an absolute classic Suzuki style point. So 750, twin cam, 4-cylinder. But they didn't have sufficient money in the R&D to design a shell crank system with a high pressure oil. So they thought, you know what, let's just utilize 2-stroke technology. So basically they used exactly the same bearings they'd used in the 2 strokes, which are roller bearings for the mains and big ends, low pressure oil pump, and they actually restricted flow up to the head to get the pressure up to the head. But basically, it's a very low-pressure oil system. And what started off as a compromise really made for one of the absolute great Japanese bikes of the 1970s. Because you can talk about the 750 Honda all you want, and yes, it did change history. And you can talk about the Z1 all you want because it's glamorous and it's fast and it is beautiful. But the first Japanese superbike you could actually ride and live with was the GS 750.
And were they good out of the box, like first
oh, hell
gen?
Yeah.
So there was they didn't need to redevelop?
No.
That's great.
No, and it developed. I mean, the later GS 750s were better than the earlier ones because they developed it. But it was a great bike out of the box. It handled well, which was the big plus because Z1s were always terrible handling bikes. Kawasaki never cured the handling of the Z1 up until the Mark IIs of 1980. No, that's a later one. That's one of the last ones.
Good looking bike, though.
Yeah, and
the
I mean
1983 version. Talk about refined.
There you go. Neil's got a picture of a very early GS 750. Jim, if you compare it, that's what the early ones look like. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a great looking bike. It's got that lovely box section tailpiece on it.
Right.
There's nothing controversial or spectacular, and that is exactly what Suzuki needed for the time. And that bike saved Suzuki. What else was clever, enormously clever about them? It was a modular engine. So you could cut it in half and use it for your lightweight bikes. One of the most beloved Suzukis, smaller Suzukis, was the GS 400 and the GS 425.
Good little bikes.
Well, the GS 400 is half a GS 750. And the GS 425 is half a GS 850. And they share rods, they share pistons, they share valves, they share cam profiles. Just, it's a very easy modular engine to build up and build down. So they save themselves a bucket load of R&D.
Suzuki's always been big about reusing engineering.
Right, because they're
Design
smart.
and reuse.
Yeah.
Smaller company, too.
And it saves money, too.
Exactly. Suzuki is the smallest of the four. The biggest by far is Kawasaki. If you take Kawasaki Heavy Industries as a whole, I mean, they own pretty much all of Japan. Honda are huge, of course. Then comes Yamaha, and Yamaha make their money through R&D. You know, Yamaha have got their finger in a lot of engineering pies. There's a lot of cars out there with Yamaha engines in them that people don't realize. And then kind of at the very end of Suzuki. And Suzuki's they do cars and bikes, and Suzuki cars sell very, very well outside the US. I mean, I think
they're a leading brand in India.
Yeah.
Remember the Suzuki
Mexico.
Samurai?
Yeah, it's a great little thing.
Best out of the box 4-wheeler you could get.
And that's classic
Sought after
Suzuki.
now,
It's
too.
kind of using what you've got and making do with it. But
Hey, that's what Slippin' Jimmy drives in Better Call Saul. Suzuki Esteem.
really? Oh, well, there you go.
So what is the primary difference
Hero
then?
car.
between the Suzuki and the Kawasaki, the Z1 and the GS1000, I guess.
I mean, in terms of riding,
Handling, right?
Handling. Absolute. The Kawasaki, up until 1980, you would never get on a big Kawasaki and not think it's trying to kill you, because it really wants to kill you.
Was it just the frame was too weak and flexy?
And I mean, if you look at a Z1, there's a lot of curves in the frame, and yes, there's a lot of curves in a lot of Japanese frames, but they never quite got that hinge out. And don't get me wrong, Suzuki's have got their quirks as well. I mean, I spent enough time on GS1000s back in the day. GS1000s, they'll promise you everything. You can lean and lean and lean and lean and lean, and you're like, this is incredible. And then suddenly it'll just snap. It'll just pop at the back. And if you're not ready for it, it can dash you off. But once you're used to it, they're just so predictable. They're great bikes. And if you...
So is it safe to say that while Kawasaki hung their hat on the performance, straight line performance, Suzuki always valued handling?
Well, they valued everything. I mean, Suzuki... if we go back to the days of the two-stroke wars, Suzuki's were GTs, Grand Tourers. They were a little bit softer than the Kawasaki's. They were a little bit smoother than the Kawasaki's. They were just more pleasant places to be. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trashing Kawasaki triples. They're amazing bikes. But if I was riding a vintage bike across the country and somebody said, there is an H2, there is a GT 750, I'd be an absolute lunatic not to choose the GT 750 because it's that kind of bike. It's just a big, plush, very, very smooth, very nice riding bike. And so it was with the four strokes. They're just damn pleasant bikes.
So why do you think the Z1s are so sought after now? And it doesn't feel like the GS1000s are equally sought after as the Z1s.
You know, and that's the big question. And I think it comes down to really part of Suzuki's success. As good as the bikes were, they weren't special. They were just a great bike for the time. And I think they deserve this enormously revered place in motorcycle history. But if you look at a GS1000, which is an enormously handsome bike, and then you look at a Kawasaki, think of the contemporary Kawasaki, the KZ1000. It's just a more exciting bike to look at. And I think now, in the collector bike market, we're all older. We don't ride our bikes as hard. Absolute handling and absolute braking and handling characteristics are maybe not as important as they were back then. And you want a bike that when you park it in the garage and you walk away from it, you want to turn around and go, oh, that is a really good looking bike. And, you know, I think perhaps the Kawasaki is a better looking bike in terms of excitement. I always like just the simplicity of the Suzuki. Funnily enough, I always think they shot themselves in the foot with the American paint schemes. Suzuki's were always very, very plain Jane in America.
I love your paint scheme on the.
Well, yeah, because it's not an American paint scheme.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
and even the GS1000s in England. I remember when the first GS1000s came out. They got this beautiful scallop on the side of the tank, and on the top of the tank, that's big, broad white stripe bordered in gold with this giant GS right in the middle of the tank at the top. It's awesome. And they didn't do that for America. It's almost like, oh, this is a bit too glitzy for America. But England likes it. And I always thought, you know, it's kind of part of the charm. Interestingly enough, in England, GSs are still very, very much revered, the early ones. So, but anyway, that's my spiel. So, yeah, is the Suzuki GS the best bike Kawasaki never made? Maybe. I think they've both got their places. To me, the GSs were always be special, not just because I've got, I mean, at this stage, I've got nearly a 50-year history with big Suzuki 4s. But it's when your back is up against the wall and you've got no money and you've got a team of very talented engineers, it just shows what you can come up with. And I think when we look back on the GSs, that's what we've got to look back on. I mean, this was absolutely a last-ditch attempt, because make no mistake, if they hadn't sold and they hadn't been as good as they are, Suzuki wouldn't be here now. It's as simple as that. I mean,
or at least they wouldn't be in the motorcycle business.
Yeah, probably.
Just making outboards and...
Yeah, and stuff other than motorbikes. And think of all the glorious Suzuki bikes that have come out since 1975.
GSX, GSXR.
Exactly. All the Gixxers, the RF 900, my beloved Rufus. There's been... I've got to love the listeners to this show, because there's on Instagram, there's YTM 90, and they do all these 90s bikes, and they've been unearthing all the original TV ads for bikes, and they found one for the RF 900, and people have been sending it to me, and it's like, oh, it's fantastic. And of course, yes, there's lots of comparisons to the Ferrari Testarossa in it, and there's lots of hokiness. It's a classic 90s ad. But yeah, no, thank you for sending me that out. It's funny. I think at this stage, Rufus might be the most famous RF 900 left in the world.
It could be.
It
could be most talked about.
But
for our listeners out there, it is a gorgeous bike, purple and yellow.
Well, it's a 90s bike, and we love 90s bike. But all those Gixxers, those RFs. Yeah. All the dirt bikes, all the RMs.
Just look at the RMs.
We haven't talked to the RMs.
I was just looking at the dirt bikes.
Yeah, the DRZs, the DRs. All of...
Before he went to Honda.
Every single one of these bikes and the people who own these bikes owe a debt of thanks to the team that put the GS 750 together. Because if it wasn't for those guys...
Copying the other guys?
Yep. But copying it and making it better, shaving the weight off, shaving the inches off, finding out why doesn't this thing handle? How can we make ours handle? Just making it a better bike. Is a GS 750 a better bike than a Z1? I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to say it is.
Wow.
I am in. If you take the whole package, it's a far better bike.
Well, if it handles better, like you say.
Well, if it doesn't kill you.
Exactly. Like a TL1000, for example.
So if our listeners if somebody wanted to restore one, are they pretty available?
Yeah, I mean, they're out there.
I mean, Z1s aren't anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Z1s have just become so stratified now. And even the LTDs.
Really, the LTDs?
Yeah, the bloody LTDs.
Jeez.
Are fetching stupid money now. Yeah, I think a GS is a good alternative. And there's tons out there. And I mean, the thing is with GSs, you kind of get what you pay for. You can pick them up very, very cheaply. That gorgeous 850 of mine, I think I paid $300 for it.
Oh, wow.
But it was not good condition. And I've spent a lot on it. The collector one is the West Cooley, the GS 1000S. We used to call them ice cream trucks in Britain because they're sort of white with like bold red and blue graphics on them. Suzuki GS 1000S. And you'll see a big white thing.
So I have an email actually from somebody about a KZ.
Tell me more.
So this is from Luke.
Hello, Luke.
Yo, Misfits. I found your podcast a few months ago, earbuds in, mowing the grass. Now it's winter in the southern tier of New York. I've got a 79 KZ 650 on my lift for the winter. I ride a 09 GS 1200R, and my wife rides a 2021 Himalayan. Winter has set in. Tinkering with the KZ and doing the part stances led me to use up scrap lumber to make cutting boards out of. All the while, you fuckers are in my ears talking about cool shit. Liza keeps a tight ship. That's the truth. Miss Emma is a fucking hoot. That's the truth, too. Like the two British ladies on PBS. two fat broads, ?
Yeah.
Hell, I don't
Look
know.
at those guys.
I think you're quite fit over there. You're a fit broad.
I tell you what, I was shoveling. I don't know whether you noticed. I was shoveling nachos with chorizo and avocado into my face
that
earlier.
sounds so
it was
good.
fantastic.
It gives you that glow.
Yeah, thank you. The
And it-
chorizo glow.
It's a bit greasy.
High pro glow.
He said, "You all seem like my people. It's been a delight having you in my ears during the doldrums of the winter. If
Oh, thanks, Luke.
you're ever near Whitney Point, New York, reach out. Speedies, Catskills, and Adirondacks. Bagel is my guy."
I got some
Nice.
relatives up that way. Up
Yeah, a lot of
in Freehold.
Yeah,
Not too far from there.
lot of chairs in that neck of the woods. I feel a lot of
So
chairs.
KZ
Yeah, beautiful
650.
riding.
A lot of antiques.
So
Does that have a 4-into-1 exhaust?
no, they came with 4-into-2s. A lot of people put
That was a
4-into-1s.
four-cylinder, or not a two?
But you see, the KZ 650 was really Kawasaki's answer to the GS. So Suzuki GS 750 came out in 77. I was like, fucking hell, this thing's great. And in a lot of ways, it did jobs better than the Z1. So Kawasaki's like, okay, we'll show you guys. And the pitch for the 650 was, we're going to release a 650 that goes as well as the competition 750. And in a lot of cases, that was true. The KZ 650 got a lot of styling cues from the Z1, so it looks like a shrunk Z1. It carries its style. Oh God, I don't want to upset Luke. It's a little more awkward than a Z1. It's still a good-looking bike, but the Z1's quite effortless in its beauty. The KZ has to try a little bit harder.
It's got kind of that big gas tank.
Yeah, and I mean, John's just shown me a picture of a B1, which was the first one. It's got wire spoke wheels. It's the prettiest of them all. Yeah, you see, by the time they started putting mag wheels on it and weird baby blue paint jobs, it got kind of lost the plot a bit.
Yeah.
But it was
They made them for a while.
Yeah, they made them for a long, long time.
It's got a little Silverwing look to it almost.
Yeah, I mean, they're great bikes. And in real terms, they do perform like a 750. And they sound great. So, Luke, if you haven't heard yours yet, get a nice 4-into-1 for it, and then fire it up. It'll be like, Kirker.
Gotta be a Kirker.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to tell you something.
Period correct.
I wanted a chrome 4-into-1 for my GS8.
You love the 4-into-1 exhaust.
Oh, they sound so good.
But I wanted a chrome one because,
You're British.
well, and it's in keeping with the bike.
Right.
You'd be amazed how hard it is to find chrome 4-into-1s now.
Yeah.
There was a time when they're the easiest thing to get. Vance and Hines 4-into-1.
Yoshi had them too, I think.
Yoshi, really hard to get now. Your only choice is mostly Delcovics, which is a British brand, even though it doesn't sound like it. And they're made out of stainless steel. And I love the sound of Delcovics, but I didn't want stainless steel on that bike. I wanted chrome. And in the end, I found one that was new old stock. And I don't even know what brand it is. It might be a Mac or something, but it's chrome and it looks good on the bike. But yeah, getting chrome shit's getting hard to find, for the sport bikes. But anyway, so there's like my little mini history hole.
I started out the new year crawling right into the hole.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. And Luke's got himself a 70s bike, which is a lovely thing. It's as good a segue as any to get involved in some emails.
Let's do it.
So you just read out yours. I think you sent me one, didn't you?
I did, but I can give it to you right here.
Yeah, give it to me right here because it saved me picking up my phone. All right, here we go. Oh, good day, Misfits. And who is this from? Hold on. Oh, it's from Tim. Timmy.
I'll take all you give me.
Good day, Misfits. Was just listening to the latest episode of the pod about First Ride and reflecting on the importance of new riders to our hobby. So just to bring everybody up to speed, December we devoted to people who are giving back to motorcycling. Clay Murphy is an old friend of the podcast. We came full circle with last week's episode. He runs First Ride, which gives kids the opportunity to swing a leg over a dirt bike and have a thoroughly dirty good time, which we very much agree with. Anyway, reflecting on the importance of new riders to our hobby, I couldn't agree more, Tim. There's a picture of your bloody dog on the phone. Why did it do that? Much as I like your dog, thank you, darling. Here we are. I was turned onto your podcast when Norman Reedus visited with you on his show. Right, yeah, that's a few years ago now. 2015, I believe. Thought I'd share with you a short article I wrote about my daughter's first road trip on her first street bike, which is a CB300R. Good little bike. She started on dirt, but at 14 now, she's enjoying a little freedom of having her own wheels to ride to school. 14? Hang on.
Right on.
Yeah,
that's a good dad, right?
There you go.
We have also gotten into
Free-range parenting.
Moto Urban X, finding places around Birmingham to explore. Recent pics attached. I've been riding since I was 14, almost exclusively street, and even spent a few years as a motorcycle scout getting paid to ride every day. Oh, lucky guy. Love what y'all do at the garage. Wish we had something similar where we live. Well, you know what to do, Tim.
Start one.
What's a motorcycle scout?
So let's clarify which Birmingham.
Well, we're going to find that out in a minute. Yeah. Wish we had something similar where we live.
Well, I heard a y'all in there, so it sounds
Yeah.
kind of Alabama to me.
Although we do our own maintenance at my house, I have a killer set of tools, right? Safe, Tim. Start your own. And I mean, this is something you can just start with friends and go from there. Oh, there's a charming picture of his daughter giving me the finger. Oh, good girl. But yeah, she's rolling around underneath this CBR 300, changing the oil and putting Motul 5100 in it. Good girl. Fantastic. These are great pictures. And actually, I am none the wiser. It could be Birmingham, Alabama, but wait a minute. Oh, Vestavia Hills. That's Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, he's photographed his bike, which I am thinking is an MT-09 or a 7 in an urban environment. These are great pictures. But it's true. I mean, every single manufacturer is grumbling about how do we get young people involved in the sport. Well, get them in the frigging seat because motorbiking's fun.
I'll tell you, I saw a ton of kids today. I was at Hollister. It was busy for sure, but there were tons of kids out.
Great.
Yeah, there's a lot. I see a lot, so it's very encouraging.
Yeah. One of my dear customers, Russ, he has a daughter, Emma. And Emma's going down the electric route, but it really doesn't matter. And she had a blowout in her front tire. And I always try and take care of Russ because I want his daughter to be able to go out and ride as much as she can. And, I was... Emma's mom died in quite tragic circumstances. And I said, the thing I admire the most about you, Russ, you have this mini-me version of your late wife. And it would be very, very easy for you to say, she's far too precious to do anything, and keep her in the house make sure nothing bad happens to her. But that's not how you are. He says, no, I want her to go out and do kid things and, ride a bike and,
Smoke cigarettes.
Not quite sure if they're at that stage yet.
Wow.
Try out the jazz cabbage.
But
Jazz cabbage.
God almighty. And this is what we have degenerated to.
I was trying to have a nice moment.
But yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast and you are grumbling because you have a young teenager in the house that won't unglue themselves from the computer screen,
give them a pack of Camel no filters.
and buy him a
two-stroke.
Buy him a two-stroke and a pack of Camel no filters.
Yeah. Put a sandwich in his pocket.
That's it.
Yes.
Or her pocket and send them down the trail. Yeah. That's the way to do it. And I think that's how we all started. And, it's very easy to think the worst is going to happen, but generally we're going to turn out okay, I think, The thing I like the most about the motorcycling community, I think, is you're never truly alone.
Mm-hmm.
you can be riding on your own. But if you have trouble out there in the road, you're not alone for too long. So that's it. Do we have any more emails?
That's it. That's all I got.
What?
I have one from last week.
Well, if you didn't read it, I'd like you to read it now, Bagel, unless it involves 2024, in which case it's obsolete.
Well, not exactly.
Oh.
Well, give it a shot then.
This is from Robert Perrin.
Hey, Robert.
Says, howdy, you wacky misfit toys.
Howdy.
It is me.
Howdy ho.
Shall we call him Roberto?
No, it is me, Robert from Tejas.
is Robbie Bo Bobby. Robbie Bo Bobby. What's up, Bo Bobby?
Thanks for having me on the 600th, and Merry Christmas. I fondly and often think that, they like my beard.
Emma calls it a womb broom.
Okay, carry on.
So he says, Bagel, can you make me Irish now?
Sure you can now. You're lying on the floor like a bag of shite.
Is that fuck shite?
Go shit.
You know what I love about the up the butt question? The defection I remember is if there was a valuable bike, you would take it up, or the definition I remember was a valuable bike, you would take it up there for, or the value you have on your butt. My first thought is always, what do you got?
Well,
Emma's got a blow pop over there.
Yeah, got a cherry Tootsie Pop.
On an unrelated note, I have an anal fissure.
Ow.
This email keeps giving. It's great.
and own a 2012 Tiger 800 XC. Sitting isn't fun right now, you know.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Wishing you a speedy recovery there, Robert. That does not sound pleasant.
I was jonesing for my bike after a few weeks of not being able to ride too.
What happened?
An anal fissure? What is that?
It's when we go fishing like with a pole and an anus.
No. It's a fissure, not a fisher.
Oh.
Oh, and no doubt when you put the worm on the hook, that
Yes.
makes you a masturbator, I suppose.
There's
Yes. No,
So
it doesn't
a large
sound,
opening.
No, it doesn't sound fun. Oh, dear, sweetie. Oh,
Yeah.
poor man. Well, I hope he can get back to riding soon.
I hope so, too.
And what bike was he riding? Tiger.
Tiger 800 XC.
Well, you should know about that, Johnny.
I do. It's
Yeah.
basically the same bike I got.
Yeah, damn good bike. Well, thanks for...
Well,
oh,
continue.
no, we're
There's
continuing.
more.
Carry
Oh,
on,
yes.
carry on.
He says, we broke into Triumph the Reviser Lizzie way. We started by trading a 2001 Harley Davidson Electroglide for a 97 Jeep Wrangler. So fun and so small. We sold that, bought a 2014 Triumph Scrambler with 300 miles for $5,000 from a rich boy who thought he wanted to be a rider. This thing was cherry, but kind of too small as well, really. We doubled the miles and sold it for $6,500. That went straight into the 2013 Tiger 800. We then sold the KLR 250, 99 Honda Shadow Ace 1100, and 01 BMW F650 GS, and I got my 2012 Tiger. My pops didn't like his 19-inch wheel sitting next to my proper 21, so he upgraded to a 2018 Tiger 800 XCA. Fancy.
We're moving on up.
We're done for now and feeling like the Tiger Kings on the road.
Right on.
Right on. That's cool.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Love my Tiger.
I love you. I love you all. Happy New Year, and always remember to chew your food.
Show enough, Bo Gator. That's awesome.
Great email.
Well,
Thanks, Robert.
We'll
That was a
endeavor
cool
to do our
story.
best.
that is
Good
that is-
flipping.
And you know what always gratifies me? That in the middle of Texas, there's a couple of British bikes being loved by their owners. And it really warms my heart,
Oh.
you know? So, no, I think that's quite lovely.
Well parlayed.
Do you think this is the end of the show? I think
I think so.
I think we've kind of come screeching to the end. Now, the good news is Liza will be back next week, so we'll no longer be the captainless ship. I hope you've enjoyed...
Rudderless.
Yeah, rudderless.
Dutch rudderless.
No, we do all right. I know Liza's had a wonderful time in Vietnam. I'm insanely jealous, of course. She's posted online she had a new suit made.
I saw the suit picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought I saw her trying to steal a child.
Is it an Evel Knievel suit?
No, it is not. It's
Pretty fresh.
It's extreme. It's bright in the extreme.
It's quite beautiful.
It's a fantastic looking thing.
Yeah, it really is.
But I'm sure that Liza will be doing a ride report next week. Until then, stay safe, everyone. If you're able to ride your bike, ride it, please. If you're not, and right now if you're in England, you are not riding your bike because it's blizzard conditions.
Or half the U.S.
Put on your thick coat and go out and spend some time with it.
Riding rain tomorrow.
There you go. Because you know what? Your bike misses you too.
Just put the video like in between your handlebars. And just, brr, 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 you know?
Well, you've got to make the noises too.
Yes, of course.
And I think on that note, it's probably time to get out of here. Do you think it's time to get out of here, John?
Well, I'll just say, if you need to email us, you can get us at motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com. We also want to direct you to our social media, our Facebook, our Instagram, our Discord. You can get all that in the show notes. And we want to always thank our Patreon subscribers.
Who are the finest examples of humanity known to humanity. So how about those guys?
They're wonderful.
They are.
Yeah,
And I mean, without the Patreon subscribers, there would be no Recycle Garage. There would be no Motorcycles and Misfits podcast. That is how important you are. Tra-la-la. So on that note, I think it is time to get out of here. Have a happy 2025, y'all. This is Emma Darling.
Stubby John.
It's Neil.
Naked Jim.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.